Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. We are happy to have two people here on our first portion of the HPS Healthcare webinar. I'm going to first introduce Mary Beth. She is our Senior Account Executive over at General Mills. Mary Beth, I'll let you go ahead and say hello, and then we will go ahead and introduce Chef Ted.
Thank you so much. Hello, and thank you for letting us be a part of today's call. Like Christina said, I'm Mary Beth Paglia. I'm a Senior Account Executive, and I support the HPS business for General Mills. And in addition to our wonderful sales team that I hope you had a chance to meet, we're very excited for the opportunity today to have our very own Chef Ted Osorio live in the General Mills Culinary Center, which is located in sunny Minneapolis, Minnesota. So today, Chef Ted plays an extremely important role within a General Mills culinary team. Not only does he bring creative ideas to customers in all segments, showcasing cost-saving techniques and versatility of our product portfolio, but you can also watch him serve up some new takes on some old classics on our social media platforms. So if you are not following General Mills on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, please do, because you are missing out some great techniques from our culinary team. We've been blessed to have Chef Ted a part of General Mills for almost 20 years. He has a rich history of working and experience in hotels, fine dining restaurants, catering, and non-commercial business. He holds an associate's degree in culinary arts from the Culinary Institute of America. So we're excited to have him today. So sit back, relax, and watch Chef Ted walk us through some solutions for your operation.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for having me again. As Mary Beth said, my name is Chef Ted Osorio, and I'm a corporate chef here with General Mills. But what I'm going to do today, what I'm going to try to attempt to do is try to show you some simple, low labor solutions created with our Pillsbury biscuit. We sell a lot of products, but what I'm going to try to do today is to be able to show you how our biscuits can be more than one thing. And I think that's what a lot of operators out there are looking for. If you have products out there, you want them to be able to do more than one thing than what you're getting inside your operation. And that's what I'm going to attempt here. So this is our Pillsbury 3.17 ounce, and it's an easy split biscuit. That basically means it gets split in half once it's baked if you want to make it into a sandwich. So I'm going to slide down here to our first item here, and these are just our biscuits that are just coated and topped. So just really easy. I'm just going to go through what I have here from my left all the way to my right. So this is the biscuit, what it looks like as is baked up. But if you coat them, and all I did here was just dip the biscuit from frozen into some water and then into my topping. So right here I have some coarse sugar, or you can have granulated sugar. So whatever you have. Right next to that is some everything bagel seasoning, some lemon pepper seasoning, and this is like a hush puppy seasoning, which is just like a mixture of onion powder and Cajun seasoning. And on the end, it's just some sriracha seasoning. So, but as I'm talking, just think about what you currently carry within your operation and how you can utilize the ingredients that you have on hand. And most of the items that I'll have on here are items that you already have within your pantry. So I don't try to try to use any items that you have to special order, because I don't want to be part of that headache. I want you to think about what is it that you currently use and how can we do things to make more with less. And that's what we're trying to do here today. Try to make more with less. So right here, I call these down home Danish. And if you let your dough thaw, you can manipulate it and do a lot of things. So all I did here was just took the biscuit, let it thaw, and then from here I just placed a well in the center to make make that hole in the center. And from there you just open up whatever you have on hand. So I used the number 10 can of cherry pie filling and some apple pie filling, which is what I have here. And I just put that right in the center. So and that's all I did. And when that comes out of the oven, I just drizzled it with some melted vanilla icing right on top of that. So the idea is, again, what I just mentioned. How can I get that item to do more than what it's supposed to be? And right next to that, so this is a sweet take on that Danish. Now this is a savory take on that Danish. So this is just some buffalo chicken that I had left over that I just stuffed in the biscuit. And when it comes out of the oven, you could drizzle it with some ranch or with some blue cheese dressing, whatever you have on hand. In the back, I call these Asian buns. And all I did here was I took the biscuit and I dipped it in some water and I pressed it in some sesame seeds here. Okay. And what I did here, because it's a little bit misshapen, so it's a little oblong here. And all I did here was just stretch the biscuit slightly. And from there, I had some leftover pulled pork and I tossed that in some Korean barbecue sauce. And I just placed that right in the center of the biscuit and baked it off. And when it came out of the oven, I just drizzled it with a little bit of Korean barbecue sauce and sprinkled some sliced green onions on top. But just something just to kind of think outside of the box, but still keep it simple, right? It looks like, and try to make it look like it took you a minute to do, but it really only took a few seconds to actually do that. So not a lot of time. Right next to that, it's that same method of what I did with the biscuit, just stretched it, and now I baked it, right? So now it kind of has like an oblong look, right? And I made it into a sandwich. So I had some leftover beef that I mixed with some caramelized onions, and I put some Swiss cheese on it. So you have like a biscuit grinder, right? So a different sandwich, right? So just a different way to make it into a different shape, but also stretch it into another part of the day, right? So a lot of people may think of biscuits, they may just think of something for breakfast or something as a side, right? So now I'm just trying to give you more ways to reutilize your ingredients, this product, but also think of different ways how you can repurpose your current ingredients that you have on hand. So now I'm going to go to different parts of the different products that you may have and appliances that you may have in the kitchen, right? So now I'm going to go from the oven. Now I'm going to go to the griddle. So let's say your ovens are backed up and you don't have a lot of time to bake biscuits. So what I did here was just took the biscuit, let it thaw, and I placed it on the griddle. Okay, and you just put these on a griddle. It's about 5 to 6 minutes per side when you're doing these on the griddle, and it comes out and it looks like a crumpet, like an English muffin. Okay, and it takes on that different look. Now, what you can do these in advance, right? So I don't want you to think you're going to have to wait 10 minutes to put this on a griddle. No, you can make these up in the morning or whenever you have time. Take them off the griddle and put your ingredients on and reheat them. And what I have on here, again, this is what I had left over in my region that I made. So I had some leftover barbecue pulled pork, and I have some white cheddar cheese. Whatever cheese you have is fine. And I put a fried egg on top for a barbecue breakfast. And I call it a biscuffin. So barbecue breakfast biscuffin is what I like to call it. But really, really simple. Doesn't take a lot of time. So I'm going to scan over. I'm going to talk briefly about what I have here. These are called biscuit bowls, and these are really easy. All I did here was just took the biscuit. I'm going to, in this case, I normally put it on the counter and I roll it out. But I forgot my rolling pin, but I'm going to show you a quicker method on what I did here. So I'm going to dip it in some water, then I'm going to coat it in the seasoning, and then I'm just going to slightly stretch it just like this, okay? And then from there, you just place it on the back of a muffin pan and bake it, okay? And this is what you get, and we call them biscuit cups. And again, this is just using some everything bagel seasoning, but utilize what you have on hand. This is some taco seasoning that I had here, And from there, you just fill it up with whatever you like. So you can do some scrambled eggs, chili, whatever you have on hand that you want to use. In the back here, I have some mac and cheese coleslaw and some catfish. I had a little bit of fun and I used some flaming hot Cheetos that we had in there. So flaming hot Cheeto catfish bowl. So just something different and some different ways to have some fun. Now I showed you what you can do on the outside of that muffin pan. Now take that biscuit, now place it on the inside of the muffin pan. So you're just going to place the biscuit in the muffin pan, and then once it's in the muffin pan, I had some spinach, some shredded cheese, and I had some carnitas. And I just put that right in top. I cracked a whole egg on top of that, and we call these baked egg pockets. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea what that looks like on the inside, there's the spinach, there's the carnitas, cheese, and the egg right there. So just another way to show these show what these look like on the top and once it's open. So just really simple ideas that don't take a lot of time. Now, I have what these we call sticky biscuits. And all this is I took some butter or margarine and some pancake syrup with some brown sugar, dried apricots, and cherries. Okay. And you use whatever, you can use dried fruit, nuts, whatever you have on hand. And I just place the biscuits on top and bake, and this all goes in a 2-inch hotel pan. And I baked it in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Once it's done, you just invert it and you get all a nice caramel gooiness that you can make with the biscuit. But just another way to utilize the biscuit. And this is a nice brunch item that you could use or every day. It doesn't just have to be just brunch, but just different ways. Just want to showcase these different ways how you use the biscuit. So 2 things that I did here. These we call fried bread bites. And I took the biscuit and I quartered it. Let the biscuit thaw, quarter it, put it in a deep fryer for about 2 minutes, and I submerge it in a deep fryer. Then when it comes out, this is what it looks like. This is what you get. Okay, 2 minutes. Now, some folks may not have deep fryers or may not want to use a deep fryer. You can bake that as well, and you do the same things that I have here. So these right here, I like to call them affectionately bootleg beignets, right? So it's February, Fat Tuesday. It's either just passed or it's coming pretty close. But I threw them threw some powdered sugar on it, and these taste amazing. Right here, I tossed the biscuits with some Korean barbecue sauce, and I have some chicken inside as well that I tossed in with it. But so now you could plus it up and make it a little bit more like a meal, or a larger appetizer. And I just sprinkled some chopped green onions on top just to show a different look. And on the bottom here we have some biscuit donuts, just savory biscuit donuts. Again, utilizing what you have in the kitchen. So again, all I did with the dough was just went in the middle and made a hole just like that. And there's your donut, and throw it in a deep fry for about 3 minutes. And then when it comes out, this is what it looks like. Toss it in powdered sugar. And this is my savory glazed donut. So all this is just some biscuit gravy that I dipped it in. Again, so you can bake it or you can fry it either way. But the idea is to, as I'm talking about this, what else do you have inside? I mean, you could toss it in any sauce that you want, sweet chili sauce, orange sauce, whatever you have in that you may have in already in your pantry in some sort of container. And lastly, we have some biscuit waffles. And to show you how easy this is, all it is just a biscuit I put in a waffle iron for approximately 2 minutes. And when it comes out, you're going to get this nice golden brown color. And this is it's so simple. It comes out just like this. And You'll see when it comes out, it'll be nice. But the great thing about it is I said these are easy split biscuits. So when it comes out of the waffle iron, it's still going to be able to split. So you can make a sandwich or you can put it out just like this and you can have an open face, whether you want to put some chicken on top, whether it be baked or fried, or if you want to put some fresh berries on top and some whipped topping to make even into a nice dessert. But the idea is just to show you how we can make more with less. And this is just a little bit of what we can do. But the idea is just to show you how we can make ideas where it's not gonna overextend your operator. And I hope we were able to accomplish that today. With that, I'll want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present these ideas to you. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer any for you.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Chef Ted.
Yes.
And I wish I was in the kitchen with you to enjoy that. But again, if you are not
I
following
second that, Mary Beth.
You're welcome.
Yes.
They all say that, you know.
I know. I'm so
and
jealous.
I just wanted to show you how it still splits, okay? When it comes out of the oven. So if you out of the waffle iron, if you ever want to make a sandwich.
Always something new. I've been with the company 10 years, and every time I see a presentation, I learn something new each time. So yeah, definitely happy and wish I was in the kitchen with you to eat some of those leftovers. But thank you, Chef Ted. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you, HPS, for letting us have the opportunity to present to you today. Again, any questions or samples that you would like of the biscuits, please reach out to me directly. I have a quick reference sheet that will be shared. My contact information is there. I'd be happy to get you some samples and follow up with some of the great recipes that Chef Ted had showed today. Also to, utilize this as a quick reference for resources when it comes to General Mills. Not only is it a hub for videos and webinars and so forth, but we can help drill down specific products through our product nutrition finder. And also too, our Bell Institute is a great avenue for you to learn a little bit more when it comes to health and wellness and so forth, and also our rebates. So just few of the many links that we have available that can provide more information to help you in your operations and to learn a little bit more about our product portfolio. So, but thank you again. Any questions, please feel free to reach out directly to myself and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Righty, Caroline, it looks like we see you up here on the screen. Go ahead and stop sharing so we can see you. And you have presenter rights, Carolyn. So you should be able to go ahead and present. But for those on the phone, this is our rep here, Carolyn, over at Simplot. So Carolyn, I'll go ahead and reach it over to you.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you, everybody at HPS. Really appreciate the time today, and jumped on at the last minute there with Chef Ted and Mary Beth. So what a great presentation as well. So a little bit about today. I'll tee up a trends and insights that our team out of Boise, we have quite a robust marketing team that really focuses on the healthcare segment. And then I'll come back and show one or two slides around the items that Marin from our marketing team will be referencing. And then I'll be sure, Christina, and send you all of the backup collateral.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marin Hemphill, and I'm the Customer Marketing Manager at JR Simplot Company. Today, I'll be going over some consumer trends and insights in the healthcare space. We'll be looking at macro consumer trends, demographic shifts, and healthcare insights. Starting with our 3 macro trends. Every year, we get together to identify the macro forces driving shifts in the way that consumers interact with food in their daily lives. 3 that spoke to us were elevated convenience, health and wellness, and enjoyment and experience. These are big concepts with many nuances, so we'll spend some time today discussing each, starting with elevated convenience, as consumers demand for ever faster and simple solutions to reduce the mental load in our everyday lives. Our first macro trend, elevated convenience, means that consumers are bringing those expectations of ease, simplicity, and speed to every moment of their lives. And that means food of the future will need to keep up. Delivery services, of course, took off during 2020 and have sustained elevated share since. But as we become more accustomed to the convenience and speed of delivery services, operators have to continue to iterate. Personalized ordering is one way to push the bounds of convenience and balance the value equation. Knowing they can get exactly the meal they want with the ingredients they know they like is just another way consumers are looking for value. To support our consumer and operators' delivery on convenience, our ready-to-eat vegetables and fruit reduce labor, which allows operators to offer their consumers customization while keeping back-of-house efficiencies. Ready-to-eat vegetables and fruit work particularly well when preparing cold dishes like salads, whether they be pre-portioned for grab-and-go purposes or in salad bars to allow for personalization. With up to 6 days of refrigeration shelf life, this is a perfect solution for operators who do not use freezers or for someone looking to free up freezer space. In addition, we have a dedicated high care facility plant where we run our products through a high steam processing to remove listeria and any food safety risk coming through the supply chain. One of my favorite products is the RTE corn you can see in the burrito recipe. Either thaw and serve cold or use as a topping, or you can heat it up and use as an ingredient in a dish. For our second macro trend, we'll be looking at health and wellness. There's many elements to this trend, but with the needs of consumers dividing, our customers are seeking out options that cater to specific allergies, as well as specialty diets like vegan, vegetarian, plant-based diets. Menu options that can be inclusive to multiple needs are going to be hot in demand. I think there's a little bit of overlap with the personalization trend here. Consumers want to be able to tailor their meals to their liking, whether that be for dietary needs or just simply preference. Personalization is something consumers are seeking more and more. Of course, we can't forget about the specific needs of our aging population across the US and many of the world's largest countries. We'll touch on the shifting demographics in a little bit, but foods that support strong bone density, brain health, and strong muscles is important as our population is living longer and wants to enjoy independence. We see huge opportunity in catering to the growing healthcare segment, particularly when it comes to long-term care and senior facilities. Health and wellness is an extremely personal macro trend, and Simplot offers a breadth of products, including our Roastworks product line, ready-to-eat products, and our Harvest Fresh avocados, all of which make great additions to menus looking for a healthy component. While health and wellness is absolutely a trend in virtually all segments, we know there are a few like healthcare and K-12 that have especially high standards. We also have customer pages specific to K-12 and healthcare to help operators with specific nutritional guidelines and dietary needs. I encourage you to visit simplotfoods.com for more detail on nutritional benefits, recipe inspiration, along with a whole host of additional resources for healthcare segments. Our third macro trend is enjoyment and experience. This trend speaks to the important role that food plays in our lives, beyond sustenance, to creating connection, joy, memories, and new experiences. The rise of new flavor combinations fall under this, with creative migration of cuisines into our everyday eating habits, particularly fusions combining new flavors with those familiar favorites. We see nostalgia and retro themes are really popular at the moment. The Barbie movie, Stranger Things, all things 80s and 90s are in. And with that, many brands are seeking out partnerships and collaborations to help consumers relive their younger years. Comfort foods that remind people of family favorites continue to be a staple. And lastly, social media plays a critical role in priming us and tempting us to try new foods. To help create enjoyment and experience through food, Simplot offers recipe inspiration and fun ideas via our semi-annual Trend Feast Guide. This fall and winter, we highlighted trends like nostalgic desserts and ideas on how to elevate any pizza offering. We'll be sending this out as a follow-up after this webinar. Definitely take some time to review it for some creative spins on these trends, along with veggies, small plates, and fun concepts that'll get consumers excited. So in summary, our 3 macro trends are going to continue to shape the landscape of our industry. Consumers' desire for convenience will bring innovation to cater to every moment. Ability to live longer and healthier lives will see us continue to personalize food to meet our nutritional needs, but still continuing to chase new experiences and enjoyment through food to make us feel alive. Next, we'll look at the demographic shifts and specific healthcare insights. On this slide, you'll see that from 2020 to 2030, the population of those aged 65 and over will increase by 17 million. It will go from 17% of the population in 2020 to 21% in 2030. This will have a huge impact on healthcare and senior living and long-term care. Looking at the trends in healthcare operations, you can see some of the key growth drivers and the operator pain points. So what does this mean? We can help solve for some of these by using product solutions that drive growth and address the operator's challenges. Use manufacturers and suppliers that provide beyond products by supporting through culinary expertise and products and recipes that solve for limited staff and fluctuating food costs. Simplot's products can help solve various pain points. We have ready to eat for labor savings, our Roastworks line of products that blend well with global flavors, and speed scratch recipes will all help operators with these. Looking at some trends in healthcare, these are food service directors' top 5 trends. So first, we have social responsibility. Healthcare operators are looking at ways to help improve food waste, supporting food recovery programs, and expanding their food donation programs. Plant-based fare is here to stay. Plants are on more and more menus at healthcare facilities across the US. 11 New York City health and hospital locations have started serving plant-based entrees as their default option. They've revamped their salad bar, and they're providing meatless Mondays. Global flavors. That shows no sign of stopping in the healthcare segment. One hospital operator said, "Our single most successful program is global bowls." Elevated menus. Sophisticated menus are finding their way into healthcare dining. One senior living facility opened up a fine dining restaurant with elevated comfort foods and introduced new cuisines. Creative solutions to industry challenges. Sourcing and staffing are major challenges. Making adjustments to schedules can help, and providing new programs to help hire single parents, students, retirees, etc. To wrap up this presentation, make sure you're innovating to adapt to the macro trends to cater to consumers' needs in the long term. With an aging population, nurturing engagement with healthcare food service is critical. And last, please reach out to your local Simplot sales rep for more information about products, recipes, and resources. Thank you.
Was there anything else you wanted to add, Carolyn, before we wrap up the webinar?
Yeah, let me just show a couple slides if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Are we okay on time?
Yes.
All right. So just a little bit about some of the food trends that Moran was talking about in the Simplot portfolio specifically. And I have a slide here that will show the HPS contracted items along with the GFS item codes. But just so everybody's aware, we have a full portfolio of potatoes, vegetables, fruits, grains, and avocado products, all designed towards healthcare trends to really drive, whether it's patient care, senior living, long-term living, or in the retail spaces of hospitals where we might go to visit somebody that we may not have the dietary restrictions. A little bit about this. So for those of you that are not familiar with Simplot and how we go to market, we are a direct supplier, just like General Mills was it just presented. We're part of healthcare organizations. We have a whole team out across the country that is calling on healthcare. So I kind of have a snapshot here. We have a culinary chefs that are dedicated to the channel, marketing teams as well, just to make sure that we have the most relevant content that we can bring you. And this slide is probably my favorite one. We keep very close to all of us that are calling on your accounts that are HPS contracted item along with the Gordon number to make sure that it's in stock at your local division. But again, Gordon carries so many of our portfolio items, so it's actually 3 pages long about, covering our grains, our fruits, our vegetables, and our potatoes. So we'll have a broad variety. A little bit about where we play in the space in healthcare. I mean, it's all day parts, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, takeaway foods. We're starting to see that in hospitals. I was just in Michigan last week presenting to a large healthcare group with HPS and did not know the takeaway foods that, we're bringing a loved one home so we don't have to worry about preparing, meals when our loved one is coming home from the hospital. We don't want to stop by the grocery store. So there's a large takeaway option as well. So we play in that space in terms of speed scratch, side dishes to complement center of the plate dishes as well. A little bit about our versatility. Food safety is front and center. That's where Marin really highlighted the ready-to-eat category. We have USDA teams in our plants in Pasco, Washington, to just ensure the food safety from listeria and pathogens. And so on that list of HPS items, we have kind of a ready-to-eat logo. Then we originally launched this line in 2019 with a healthcare group that had asked us if we could come up with what we call a ready-to-eat. It has multiple meanings for it, but basically threefold. Food safety, we've removed any kind of bacteria and everything from the food chain, the food supply chain. It also, these items you can store in your cooler for 6 days, and then you don't have to bring these items up to temperature, up to 165 degrees. So again, it has a lot of flexibility there in our ready-to-eat category. And lastly, I will stop here. I just kind of wanted to share some of the items, and I'll share this deck with you, Christina, for your teams, but it'll kind of lay out the items that are on the HPS contract, the GFS codes, and then all of our ready-to-eat codes. And then we also have seen some other trends quite popular in healthcare that are following the other channels, and it's the customization. So we're seeing a lot of grain bowls. We're seeing a lot of items that in healthcare, they might be as simple as build your own parfait, build your own smoothie, build your bowl or a breakfast burrito. So I'll have some content on that as well. So again, I'd like to thank everybody for your